Hi everyone, it took a bit longer than I had hoped for to make this video, but here it finally is. And I just want to start off by saying thank you all for all the support I'm getting, both in prayer but also financially. Without you guys, it wouldn't be able for me to be here and serve God. So about a month and a half has passed since my last update, so of course a lot has happened, so let's get into it. Yeah, that was some clips from this past month and a half. And as you can see, there's been a lot of variety of what we've done. Everything from times of worship to doing skits on the streets. And yeah, it's just been a great month and a lot has happened. Starting off, I did a lot of fundraising. An entire week of just raising funds to be able to staff summer camp. Summer camp was a camp for youth 12 to 18 years old, where they got to know God more and got to know more about God and just building a deeper relationship with Him, and also later got to walk out and practice this. They also went on outreach to Nepal and helped a ministry on base called Homes of Hope to build a house, while another group went down south here in Western Australia to help with gardening and things like that. So yeah, it was just a great time to see how the youth got to grow in this time, especially one guy who at first didn't seem like he was that engaging in the teachings, but then after the camp he decided to actually join the group going down south and join the outreach. So yeah, it was just a great time to be able to see how the youth were growing, and me personally was in the kitchen the entire time, so I only get to see them during food times, during dinner, lunch, and morning and afternoon tea, breakfast. So for me it was a bigger difference in them than the graduate difference that people who were in the meetings and had them as one-on-ones, had them in the small groups, got to see. So yeah, it was just a great time, and it was really encouraging to see that they got to grow. Other than that, it's a new quarter, which means we have new schools here on base. And as you saw in the video before with the performings on the street corner, that was the Performing Arts CTS performing a skit called the Painter Skit, and it's a good skit for drawing in a crowd when we are out on the street sharing testimonies and preaching the gospel Uh, it's a fun skit, and also for the church, it has a meaning that we're not all created the same. God created us differently, and that was because that's how He wanted us to be created. So when we are ourselves, it all works together. But when we're trying to be someone else, it kind of gets messed up. So that's kind of the meaning of the skit. Yeah, it's just a great skit that we've used a lot during evangelism. I also used it during my DTS when we went to Manila on outreach, and yeah, even then it just drew in a huge crowd of people. Other than teaching them skits, we also had the opportunity to create skits together with them, both for evangelism here in Perth, but also over this past weeks now, we've created skits that they will be able to use in Nepal. And the process we have done this with is starting out with research about the culture in Nepal, things that are relevant to the people there, and yeah, just how we can reach out to them in the best way. The group I'm in, they created a skit on human trafficking, which is a huge problem in Nepal, and especially since women isn't seen as having the same value there as the men do. So yeah, it's a great skit. Possibly will be in a future video or newsletter. So yeah, on the topic of Nepal, we're going to Nepal in about a month, and we're also going up to the Kimberleys here in Western Australia. I am really excited to see what God is going to do through us, both in Nepal and up north. And yeah, for this, I will need a lot of finances. I'm still looking for 5,500 Australian dollars. That would be about 35,000 Swedish crowns. That will be needed within 4 weeks. So yeah, if you want to support me with that, I'm gonna leave some ways you can pay, some ways you can go in with financial support down in the descriptions below. I'm also going to leave my email there, so if you have any questions, you can either contact me there, or if you have me on Facebook, Instagram, feel free to contact me there as well. Over this past month, I've also found a church here that I really like. It's called Sun Life. So if you're in Perth, I really recommend you to go visit it. I don't know the address right now, but I can leave it. Yeah, I don't know the address, but I'll look it up. It's a great church that is really based on biblical truth, and it was kind of interesting how I found this church. So I was looking for a church to actually, like a home church here in Perth, and I found Sun Life on the internet, but it was kind of far away, so I didn't know how I would be able to get there. So the week passed by, and I felt like God told me to ask a friend called Vicky if I could come with her to her church. And she said yes, because she has a car, so she drives there, and ends up being the same church. So yeah, it's just really cool to see how God speaks, and yeah, now I found my church. So I've kept going there 3 times now, and I will keep going. Next week I'm also going to be part of a video for the preaching, so that's kind of cool. Just stumbled in, and yeah, after the meeting today, one of the people working with the AV team just came up to me and asked, "Oh, do you want to be in a video for the preaching next Sunday, which is on judgment?" Because we're going through Romans in this season, going to finish in about September or something like that. Through 3 Sundays, we've gone up to the entire first chapter of Romans. So yeah, it's just a great church based on biblical truth, and yeah, I really like the worship as well. It's really following the Spirit. So yeah, it's been a great month, and yeah, God bless you all. If you want to support me financially, I'll leave the details down below. If you wanna subscribe to my newsletters, which been a mix right now of sending out videos and the newsletter, send me an email or a message somewhere else. And yeah, God bless.